Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by a fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Macedo is the best.
Okay, I'll give you my thoughts about a rather controversial topic. Now, if you're Indian, India, if you're an Indian, typical Indian male who is young, this topic would kind of suit you. But if you're a female, you're going to get pissed off with this, because the way I'm going to dissect this topic about how to select a good Indian, good girl for marriage, not Indian, good girl for marriage. It's going to dissect a human being on a lot of areas, a lot of, boxes which you might not like. But, I'll speak to you through experience, and I'll speak to you through like what men normally talk. Or I don't know, you can say men or males or guys talk. So they'll not say this publicly for the fear of being, bashed up or ridiculed. But in my case, I care a fuck. Just going to say it as it is. I guess many people don't, they're not honest because they lose sponsorship or they want to portray themselves as a nice guy. Okay. So anyway, in this video, I will give you tips and tricks and strategies how you can find out a good girl for marriage, good quality. Sounds so bad. It sounds like as if you're going to buy a car or a turkey for Thanksgiving. Sounds so bad. Given the fact that I have a wife and daughter, and it'll be like, are you describing your own child? Some people will try to say that, but anyway, listen to what I'm saying and then form your opinion. So how do you find a good girl? Good. Now let's understand the definition of good. Good necessarily does not mean a virgin. Okay? Good also doesn't mean a nice, timid, sweet. No. What do I mean by a good girl is one that is right for you. Okay? So how do you find a girl that is right for you? Now, the strategy that people have taken over the years, some of them, like a guy can sleep around and have sex with multiple women and finally get a girl who is a timid, conservative, religious, spiritual, a girl who parents have told your husband is your God and worship him, and that's more akin to, like they say, marrying a slave and abusing her, So that's not my strategy in this video. It's not. The focus is to find a girl that is good, and by that I mean a girl that is like a jigsaw puzzle, it's like a perfect fit. Okay? So that's my definition of good first. Now, how do you find? Now, if you ask, depending on who you ask, you'll get various forms of translations or opinions. Like, for example, one of my mentors, I'll not tell you which one of my mentors who is around like 20 years ahead of me, religious guy, spiritual guy, he once had this conversation with me. He said, how to make out a girl is good or bad. He said, check her ass and check her breasts. So I was like, check her ass and breasts for what? He's saying if the ass is flat, the ass and the breast is flat, or not shaped and curvy and like full, the girl has never been touched. She's like, in his case, he was telling me, go for a girl who has not slept around with different men. Go for a girl who's not touched. Because, and there's a logical reason for this. A woman, normally the first man who touches her body or the first man she indulges in a sexual experience with, provided there is emotional context to it, she tends to love that man more than anything in the world because he's the first man in her life. That is why many traditional or Indian, kind of societies, they want to make sure that the girl marries fast, or they keep the girl away from men and the first guy is the one she goes ahead with. But today that strategy doesn't work anymore, because when you go to school and college, you get exposed to so much, and parents can't be with you 24/7. And given the fact of the internet and social media, it's not humanly possible to know what your daughter or son is doing. And with movies and all that, their head is already filled with enough and more expectations and nonsense. So they generally, so my mentor was saying, if the ass is flat and the breasts are not well developed, yes, that can be one. And another one is, look at the girl in terms of her hands and legs. Does she have body hair? If she has not waxed it all off and trying to wear heels and trying to show her body, flaunt it, means she has never experienced sex or temptation. Because once a girl experiences sex with more than one man, it's like getting a taste of the pleasures of life, different flavors, and so she will be unafraid to try different flavors, as they say. That's how even with boys or men, once a guy has one girl, then he would want another girl, then another girl, and then it never ends. That's why if you ask any guy, do you want to marry and settle down? For a guy who can get women easily, he'll be like, whoa, what the fuck are you talking, settle down? I get to choose which girl I want every day. Every night one new girl comes in. So that selection process is there, and once you get confident that you can get men or women easily, you don't want to stick with one. So that's what one of my mentors said. Then, like I said, depending on who you ask, is the kind of advice you get. Some of them will say, okay, check the family. If you ask a family that's conservative, they'll say, check the family. Is the family background good? But here the problem is the family background may be good. The girl and the company she keeps, the company, the friends may be shit. How do you know? I've personally known religious families where the girls they're so bold. You'll not believe, what do you think most of the girls I was dating with, the families are religious. The girls were like fucking porn stars, man. They wanted to do it here, put it there, do this, eat me, this, that. Use your imagination. Okay. Then they'll say, okay, marry someone in your own religion or your own caste or custom. Or over here, the challenge is, if you married someone who is not been exposed to the outside world, and you yourself, like let's say a Muslim who is in a Muslim community and follows Muslim or Islam, and you are a Muslim, fine. But if you're talking of a girl who has gone abroad and traveled many places and been with many, even if you marry a girl of the same religion, the chances that she or he may follow the religion or custom is big question. So these are the first basic myths that we need to get away from. So given that now we are looking at a guy and girl on a level playing field, how do you choose or how do you decide? Okay, I'll tell you. I've written some points on my phone, which I'll read out. These are the 10 points, and I'll just stop when you hear this, what do you call that? This hawker who's selling. It's always irritating, but anyway, you can't help it. You can hear that noise? Okay. How to select a girl? Yeah, here it is. So I'll just wait until this guy vanishes. Others, you'll hear my voice and you'll hear his voice. Okay. So let him move. He's standing in one place. Okay, now how do you choose a girl? Okay, the first point that I mentioned about choosing a girl is you'll find this surprising. The first point for a guy, I always tell the guy, write down what type of girl you want. Okay, write down. Now, why do I ask a guy to write down? Is because he will empty his mind as to the type of girl that he wants. Now, generally, when I ask a guy to write down what type of girl he wants, he will always put, I want a loving, caring, sweet, this, that. He will go on all that tangent of all that bullshit. And then I tell them, see, listen, stop this nonsense of loving, caring, and you need to be a bit more explicit. Okay, be honest. What type of girl you want? And then they are like, oh, what do you mean by that? See, we all have our fantasies, correct? Okay, when you have your fantasies, what do you tend to do? You tend to be inclined towards your fantasies. We tend to fall towards our fantasies. Like, for example, in my case, my fantasies were to have a blonde female, to have a girl with, sexy waist, amazing breasts and amazing ass and great figure, and who is bold and passionate about sex and crazy, and, who would want me, and, the typical, such a hot babe who just want you only and is ready to do anything for you and just wants you and is your best friend and whatever. Okay, so the first thing what you need to do is write down all your fantasies that you have of this girl, whatever it can be, whether you're talking of a body part or nationality or during sex she should do all these things, A, B, C, D, whatever. Now the reason I'm asking you to write down all these points is once you have written on all these points, then confusion will not be there. Okay, you'll get to see all these points written on a sheet of paper. Okay, so do that first. Now after you've done that, the second thing what I ask people to do is, fine, so now you put all these points on the sheet of paper. Okay, choose what is the most important one. Choose one which is most important. So obviously it becomes hard. You'll be like, fuck, how can I choose? You said choose from body part to ethnicity. Yeah, so choose one. So obviously when you're talking about marriage, no guy is going to put, oh, the point, I want her to have firm breasts. Nobody's going to put that up. Oh, I want her to have a tight ass. Nobody's going to put that up. So you'll choose the most important point first. Mostly people will say, I'm looking for a friend. Okay, so put that up. So when you put what is most important, put it at the side. Now obviously there's a tendency that you'll put only all the good virtues, good heart, good character, this, that. No, balance it out. One is a virtue, then move to the physical aspect. Get down to what is most important in the physical aspect. Okay, boobs, ass, hair, looks. She should look Asian, she should look American, she should look whatever, she should be fair, she should have a Brazilian complex, like skin complexion. So, virtue, character, physical side. So once you start filling all this up, you will have a chronological sequence. Okay, a clear chronological sequence. So you know what is which part of your hierarchy. Now, after you have done that, the next point I would tell you is put down the things that you cannot tolerate. Most of the guys, they tend to forget this part. You have to put down the things that you do not want, because drawbacks or the part that irritates you is the part that will destroy the relationship. You'll be very surprised to know it is not oh, she cheated on me, and that is not the reason why relationships break up. Most of the relationships, why they start having complication, fights and arguments, is for silly reasons, like the female threw all the clothes or didn't keep them in order. In fact, I know of a army guy. He had absolutely terrible fights with his wife. You know for what? She used to squeeze the toothpaste from the middle. He always liked to squeeze it from right down below. In fact, I used to have the same problem. I used to keep my toothpaste properly in a place. My wife used to open it and it's all over and squeeze from the center. And now after I got the baby, the toothpaste not only is thrown all over, not only squeezed, the cap is not put, it's dunked in water, and when you squeeze there's only water coming out. So now what I've done is, the solution is I've kept my toothpaste separate at the top in a pouch. Her toothpaste with the babies, you do whatever you want. So there are craziness, man. Like even in my room, I keep my office and my personal space locked. I let my baby come in once in a while. Now even though I allow my baby to come once in a while, she'll come in, she'll take the crayon, she'll start scribbling on my white desk. She'll pull the wires, she'll pull the books. Sometimes she brings all her toys, small Lego blocks, and she throws it all over the place and makes a mess. 1 second. Sorry, I had a call. Okay, so where was I? So my baby comes in and throws everything, and that drives you mad. That also can be one. And also, keep another thing in mind. When you're talking of getting married to somebody else, you're talking of a totally different personality. Two different personalities, two different expectations, two different dreams, two different hopes. And these are the things that people don't think about. So when you're talking of drawbacks, just keep in mind that these small things can drive you nuts. Like in my wife's case, I'm very particular. Like when I clean, I keep it really clean. Like if you see some of the international chefs and all that, how they keep it sparkling clean, they really clean it, they scrub it. My wife has a tendency, her clean is like the gas stove, they don't bother, because she comes from the village. They don't clean that area. The washing machine is never maintained. The fridge, sometimes just everything is dumped. Even if there's spillage there, she doesn't bother. So it's a very different, you're talking about a different person with a different mentality and mindset. So drawbacks is also very, very important. Mention them. It can be even stuff like, okay, she gets a temper. Can you manage that? She gets, the person has a temper. The person, when they get angry, they shout, they scream, they give bad words, they throw things, they break things. Write all these down. Then some drawbacks can be, when you have a problem, they involve the mother and father, they involve the friends. Some other drawback can be being on social media, being addicted to chatting. Some other serious ones can be smoking, drinking, hanging out with friends. I'll tell you, all this plays such a vital role. In fact, one drawback, which is actually a plus point, can actually be a serious drawback. What if you are ambitious and your wife is ambitious, or your partner is ambitious? You want to go to Canada, she wants to go to Australia, or you want to go to India and she wants to go to US. How do you manage this? Then if you have children on top of that, it can cause major problems. And let's say you both are career minded, both want to work. Who will take care of the kids? Who's ready to sacrifice on whose dream? You have to ask these questions, So focus on the drawbacks. Write them down as well. It's very, very important, because once you start writing this down, a lot of things will start making sense. Okay. So the first point that I gave you is write down what you want in a female, and write down what you don't want. So once you have written both these down, I think there's a sense of clarity. Okay, these are the traits that I want, these are the traits that I don't want. Now after you have written them down, I think the next part comes down to, where can you get this kind of person? Okay, this is something people don't think about. See, I know that there are these amazing stories. Oh, this rickshaw guy, dark, black, uneducated, poor man, got this white female, rich female, millionaire female from the West, and she married him, and now his life is changed. We even know of that story of this, I don't know what, European or Swedish, or girl from Switzerland or Sweden. She came down to India, met this really dark black guy from India, and after she left, and he cycled all the way from India all the way to her country, and now they are happily ever after. Or this poor Malayali guy married this Russian girl who is hot. And see, these stories are great. They make you feel, wow, dreams can come true. But it's like getting a lottery ticket, man. What are the chances that you'll get a lottery ticket once in maybe 50 years? Come on, you need to be realistic. It's good to have visual thinking. It's good to have this, oh, I can get lucky. But this kind of luck doesn't come. All right. So the question that you need to ask yourself is, what you want, all these traits, where can you get them? Now, in my case, when I was in Dubai, the first half of my life, the type of girl that I wanted, I knew for a fact I couldn't get in Dubai. Because Dubai is a very metropolitan city kind of life. And the girls who are there have experienced money, have experienced friends, freedom, they're bold, they have fun, they enjoy. So for me to get the girl that I wanted, a homely girl, was impossible. So the next question was, maybe I can get her from India. But now India has also changed so much, and it's so big and so vast. Even a girl from the village, I mean, you don't know what is being taught to her, and maybe she's being brainwashed. And you might think a girl is poor and humble, but they actually can turn out to be terrible. They can be like, they will destroy your life. They can be like cranky and possessive and hyper and mad. Having an uneducated female sometimes is even worse. I'm not talking uneducated, it means someone who has not seen the world. So then the question is, where could I get the type of girl that I wanted? And I realized, okay, I can get her in Asian countries, Philippines and Thailand and Vietnam and Cambodia. But now the question is, okay, if I have to get a girl from there, I have to be there, right? So that is one of the motivating factors that made me go to Thailand. In order to I didn't come to Thailand to get a girl like that. But once I was in Thailand, I knew the chances of getting a girl like that were higher. So if you're in Dubai, let's assume you're in Dubai, trying to get a girl who is homely, not going to happen. If you're in India and you want to get a blonde, hot, sexy female who's from the West, not going to happen. And if you're in the West, well, obviously if you're in the West and you want an Asian girl, oh, you'll get millions because they all want a white passport. But then it comes down to, what is her intention? Does she love you for the investment opportunity of going abroad, the green status? The number of guys who brag about, I'm an American passport holder, British passport holder, I have a white passport. The number of girls desperate to marry a guy like this, so high. Some of them explicitly put the first sentence, they don't even put anything, they don't put their name. I'm a British passport holder, I'm an American passport holder. And these females are like, oh, please, please, I love you. You can be an old man, they'll not mind. So be careful, because there you have to be smart. Because when I advertised for my marriage partner, I didn't state I was rich. I put I was poor. I'm poor, I'm simple, you have to work. Well, you could say 50% of the girls lost interest. Okay? So keep that part in mind. Then, one second, the next one. Okay. Now these are the 10 points. I'll quickly move through them, which will give you a nutshell of what is important when choosing a partner, a girl. Number one is, who has the upper hand? Now, obviously, the man will always say, me. Then there are these other people who are new age. No, me and her both should be equal. Just keep one thing in mind. In an organization, there is a CEO, one guy who's in charge. And the CEO reports to a board. Now the problem is, when you report to a board, you have to dance to the board. That's why many public companies don't fare so well. But on the other hand, if you're a CEO of your own company, you call the shots, you decide what to do. So in the same way, in a relationship, who has the upper hand? Is it you or is it your partner? Now, it doesn't mean that if you want an equal partner, it's going to be bad. It doesn't mean if the female has the upper hand, it's going to be bad. My mother and stepfather, my mother had the upper hand, and it worked out very well for both of them. I know relationships, because I have plenty of clients, where the wife and husband are more or less equal, but their personalities are very agreeable, you know. So the first one you need to keep in mind, who has the upper hand, because in this, the ego takes over. And that can literally destroy, make or break a relationship, especially when one person is hurt. And you know, when you're hurt, there is a tendency that you go and talk to your friends or other people. And that is where these predators are there, who are waiting for frustrated married couples. How do you think I used to have affairs with so many females who are married or who are divorced? Next one. It's very important, but the family environment and the family upbringing. Now, when you check the family, are they a humble family? Are they a reserved family? Are they an aggressive family? Do they interfere in everything that you do? Are they curious? What is, like when you go there, how do they behave? How do they act? Are they socializing a lot? Are they inviting a lot of people? Are they hardworking? Like when you're talking of this wife's family, they were hardworking farmers. They just would go to the farm, work and come back. They didn't have expensive stuff. They didn't have expensive clothes. They didn't have expensive food. And even when they were celebrating, they would only call their brothers, sisters, close people. So I knew for a fact these were the traits that matched my expectations, because I also was very private. I wanted a hardworking person. I didn't want someone who would call parties, invite, smoke, drink, this, that. No. So remember, the family and the family upbringing plays a very important role, even the family values. Like, are they paranoid about their religion, and oh, child should be brought up this way, and oh, I need to know what you're doing with your finance. I need to know where is my child, what is she doing, and why you're like this, and where you went. And so just be careful of that. The family environment is point number 2. Point number 3, this wouldn't have existed many years ago, but today, social media and the internet, that is so paramount. The internet, because what are they searching for? What do they use to kill time? Is it games, and is it addiction? I know there are so many females who like to gamble online. And social media, are these females, the female that you're with, has she to post everything that she does? Like her selfie 100 times, where she's going out, what she's doing, every problem in her. In fact, I was very particular that the girl I'm with, if she posts on social media, even though I was a social media guy, and she updates the social media frequently, 100% no. In fact, any girl who would post her selfies online almost every day or frequently, I knew for a fact this girl needed validation, this girl needed importance, this girl needed popularity, and it's a no. I especially find it shocking when I find some of these females, what they do is, if they have a problem or incident with their better half, they will state it explicitly on Facebook. Oh, love is bullshit, sometimes they don't understand why are men like this and that. So fucked up. So keep that in mind, and remember, who this person chats with will influence them. Who their friends are influences them. My wife doesn't fucking bother about social media. I can tell her to delete all her Facebook, she'll delete right now. And her friends that she has, it's only relatives. And the only other people that she keeps is people who she's selling items to. So, and me and my wife both have each other's passwords. So, it's totally transparent. Next one, number 4, involvement of friends. Thankfully, in my wife's case, it is not there. She doesn't have friends, I don't have friends, we don't get friends home. But if in case you do have friends, you have friends, and your wife has separate friends, it can be a problem. And suppose you have friends, common friends, that also can be a problem, because then there's always a chance for gossip, brainwashing, stupid views, influence. And sometimes people just, they don't have anything to do. They'll not mind their business, they'll mind yours. And friends can make or break a relationship, I'll tell you. That is why it's very important. You need to figure out, does your better half have friends? And if you both have friends, please be careful, because it can make things really complicated, especially when friends get involved, consciously, unconsciously, openly or hidden. For me, anyone involved from friends, I'll say fuck off. Just fuck off straight away. Block them. Number 5 is, and one more thing with the friends' involvement. Does the family also get involved? See, think about it. If the family gets involved, it'll fuck up the relationship. Does the mother say, why is my daughter crying? Does the father say, listen, I need to talk to you, what's happening? Then you become a person who has to give a report card. Now, this is provided you are not an abuser, provided you are not a person who's a jackass. Then of course the family has to involve, if you're physically or mentally abusing. But otherwise, if you're a well-balanced individual, having a family interfere is not required. Because sometimes, remember, when the family does get involved, they will talk something between themselves and brainwash each other, and that fucks up things here. I know some mothers who, even after marriage, they'll keep brainwashing their sons and daughters. Next one, number 5, is wants and expectations. You have to sit down with your to-be partner and discuss what are your wants. Everything from physical, sexual, financial. Like for example, let's say physical. What do you want in terms of sex? You have to explicitly tell your partner, it can be anything. I like anal sex. I want you to swallow. Sometimes I want threesome. Or sometimes I want to go to a massage parlor and have a stimulation. I know you will not discuss this with your partner, but it's very important to discuss the maximum. See, I even know there are females who have had sexual fantasies where I want to see you have sex with... I've had this girlfriend who wanted me to have sex with other girls, and she would sit there and watch and masturbate. Well, and not that I was going to marry her, but some girls want that. In fact, you'll be very surprised to know, a close, really, really close friend of mine who I wanted to marry, you know why I decided not to marry her? Because in her list of expectation and wants, she wanted a partner who she could fight with. I'm not joking. She believed if you love someone, you have to fight with them. You have to shout at them, scream at them, break things, even physically hit each other. Why? That's the way you love each other. I was like, are you mental? What? She said, Loy, don't be stupid. When you fight, you get closer. She was obsessed with this idea. And for me, it was like, please fuck off. I don't need this drama. So, find out everything, even expectations of, okay, you have to sacrifice your career for mine. Or I have to, who sacrificed their career? If you see some of the UFC fighters, the man has actually given up his dream to help the female become a full-time professional fighter. And in some cases, the female has worked 2-3 jobs just to ensure the husband gets full-time training for fighting. So my previous partner, one of the reasons why I broke up is I wanted to migrate to a different country. She wanted to migrate to a different country. So expectations and wants. And then it can also come down to character, can come down to bank balance, money, so many issues. Discuss all your expectations. It's a very vast topic. Number 6 is age. Trust me when I say this, age matters a lot. One of the reasons why I tell people, check your age versus your partner's age, because your age will determine whether the relationship will work or not. I'll give you a small example, okay? Now, with regards to me and my wife, okay? My wife has not seen the realities of life. She has not been in the business world. She has not gone out. She has not traveled. In fact, when I married her, She had never been in an airplane. Okay. Now, to tell you how childlike my wife was, the first time I made $10,000 as a client, my wife was overjoyed and she was like, we can build a house and we can buy land and we can travel the world. I was like, whoa, relax. Why are you hyper? She was like, we are going to be millionaires. She didn't understand that this $10,000 client was only one. And now I had to deliver to the client my service, which would take 6 months to a year. And it was not like I was getting $10,000 client every day. Now, no matter what I told her, she didn't understand. However, today, after 4 or 5 years of marriage, today if I get a $10,000 or $20,000 client, she is not hyper, because she knows money gets spent accordingly. She has realized that to maintain these clients, to take care of the people who are supporting my brand, oh, money goes, man. And the visa and the business expense. So this she never got because of her age. So if you marry someone who's too young, they can be fucking irritating and immature. You marry someone who's too old, they will try to act like you're a kid. So be wary who you're getting married to, what age. And also when you're choosing a female, remember, the older she is, the harder it is for her to have a child, for her to conceive. Keep that in mind. My theory is, if you marry a girl after the age of, say, 20s, who has worked and seen a bit of life, and whom you will be the first or second or whatever, the earliest guy, the chances of you being happy is much more. Provided she doesn't smoke, drink, addiction to social media, has friends, all that comes into play. So be careful. And younger females are more fertile. And if they have a baby, they heal faster. So, because remember, end of the day, you're not the one who's going to have the baby 9 months in the stomach. And remember, after the baby is born, the body is cut open. That destroys the female's body. Then she has to breastfeed. The breast starts sagging and they put on weight and they might have hormonal issues. The complications are endless. So age. Number 7 is the sexual experience, which I spoke to you before. You need to explicitly be open with each other. Now over here, I'll give you a small caveat. Now, before I was a playboy, I used to have a lot of sex. I used to take Viagra, I had erotic fantasies. And however, after I married this wifey, sex was not a priority. The reason being, it's not that I didn't feel sex, but now my focus was money, business. There's a lot of stress, a lot of worry, and it is not going to be easy. And when you're under stress, the last thing you think about is getting romantic and going crazy. Yeah, your fetishes remain, but sexually, you're not going to think about it 24/7. Or even if you're going to think, you want it to be fast and you want to sleep. Between me and my wife, even if my wife feels horny or she wants sex, all that, she's not going to demand. Believe it or not, there are some females who actually demand. They'll wake you up in the middle of the night, babes, can you go down on me? I'm feeling horny. Just imagine, would you want to do that? There's some guys who don't mind it. Oh, wow, babes, that's a gift. Thank you so much. I can go and eat and whatever. Some others like, what the fuck? Go wash yourself at least. And then there are some others say, shut up. I'm not in a mood. So figure out which category you are. There's no right, there's no wrong. In my case, in sexual experiences, I'm the boss. I call the shots. I don't want a girl telling me, listen, I'm feeling horny. Get ready. Come on. Because I'm earning the money. So keep that in mind. That's at least me. I don't know about you guys. You can choose whatever you want. Number 8, the honeymoon phase. See, once the honeymoon phase is over, once the romance and romanticism, it becomes ugly. Because now the magic is no more. The craziness is no more. That is where you'll see the person's actual character. Now here's a question. How does your partner behave with you when the person is no longer in admiration of you? You know, they say, no, familiarity breeds contempt. That's so true. What it means is, the more you know the person, the less the aura or the hero worship or the fascination. Same thing with you. To give you an example, when you first met the girl who you're crazy of, first met, you were dressing up so well and you had a shower and you had a shave and you put perfume and you are at your Sunday best and you got a limousine or you got an expensive car, or your car you made it spick and span to look amazing, and you took this girl to an amazing restaurant and tried to impress her and tried to give her a great time, and you are at your gentlemanly best. And even she would do the same. She would go to the makeup artist and she would try to look sexy, and she would wear a sexy lingerie, and she would make sure that she looked amazing for you, and she would go out of the way to please you. But when you fast forward the relationship, say 2 years or 3 years, you're not going to do that. You'll just bloody come from work, you'll be stinky, smelly, tired. You'll sit in your car, maybe it'll not be washed. You'll not even take your girl to an expensive joint. You'll take her home. Okay, cook something, you know. And then night time when you feel horny, you'll just, let's have sex. Yeah, that's how it is. In fact, thankfully in me and my wife's case, we didn't have this great honeymoon phase. We always had a simple one. So if in case you have a honeymoon phase before marriage, then you have to be really afraid, because after marriage it's going to be different. Because what you'll get is your partner will be crabby, in a bad mood, sometimes may shout at you, demand things from you, and then you really need to ask yourself, did I marry this person for a mirage or some other this thing, or did I marry because this person is my close friend who I can get along? That is where your character, your friendship will come into play. So just be careful of the honeymoon phase, because once it's over, oh, things get real damn ugly. It's as simple as you buy a new toy or a new car or new smartphone, or you know, even a new job. Initially the excitement and wow, soon it dies off here. Point number 9. I think if you do want to get married with a girl, you have to define your roles clearly. With my wife, I made it very clear, I'm the man of the house. I will work, I will make the money. You're the person who takes care of the house. You'll not go to work. You'll cook, you'll clean, you'll take care of the baby. And then, you know, I define my roles and her roles. Like me, I'll not sleep around, I'll not go outside, have friends. You, same. You'll not have friends, you'll not invite people, family, this, that. So we defined our roles clearly and we agreed to it. You must be able to define your roles very clearly, and you must both come to an agreement. And this involves, you know, sitting down and talking to each other. And last point, the breakup process. This is something people never think about. This is the most important thing. In fact, I'll tell you, the most important thing. The breakup process. Because we all get married assuming that it's going to be forever. But what if things don't work out? What if things are not working out? Then what do you do? This is what people never think about. And if you don't define the breakup process and you don't prepare for it right from the day one, then you're going to be in trouble. That is where the prenuptial agreement is so important. That is where, you know, you should know and she should know. If you do ABC, the relationship is off. And after the relationship is off, you have legal papers to clearly define what is what. Like if you cheat on your partner, some girls are like, you cheat on your partner, fuck off, I'm going to break up with you. In my case, I've told my wife, I've given you the keys to the house, the passwords to the social media accounts, the bank cards. If anything is done without my permission, even one cent, I told her it's finished. Because if I can't trust you, I don't want you. And I'm very particular about it. I'll tell you, you'll find it shocking. Even 5 cents, she will ask me. Because I need to know what is happening. I've had experiences where people have taken money and run away. And the last thing you want is someone spending your money without telling you, and it's going on and on. One fine day you wake up after 20 years to find out, oh, the person was spending every time. or the account that you secretly created is all spent. Because there are possibilities. Someone might win the heart of your partner, and they might give all this money to this person as a loan, or put in a lucky lottery or something, and then eventually lose it. This has happened. So what do you do then? And then if in case maybe your partner doesn't secure their accounts, maybe someone hacked into their accounts and through their accounts hacked into yours. See, there's so much of shit that goes on here. So it's very important to set out the rules for even the divorce. And if that is clearly defined, both of you know what is the price to pay. So these are the 10 points. Now, the final thoughts that I'll give you is simply this. Okay? See, marriage is a very powerful, life-changing decision. It's not a joke. It's not romantic. It's not fun. It's not happening. I'll tell you, there are so many times I really wish, why did I even get married? Okay, so because marriage is a responsibility, keep that in mind. It's a very, very, very big responsibility. So don't take it lightly. Like I tell people, if you're getting married, first is get married for the sake of, if you have money, if you have enough and more money. In fact, if you're only looking for sex and a good time, just have a girl to have sex with and have a prostitute. Lesser headache, lesser complications. But if you're planning to get into a life where your entire life is dedicated to the other person, then get into marriage. And remember, once you get a baby, the dynamics change totally. It's a grind. Let me tell you this, it's a daily grind. And it's a life-changing experience if you take it with heart and soul. And especially after a baby is born. So these are the 10 tips and pointers that I'll give you with regards to marriage and choosing a girl. But keep in mind, it's not necessary to get married. You don't have to. If you have the money, you can even get a young, hot maid who will take care of you until you die. And she'll even give you sex if you need it. So just keep that in mind. So just be clear about this. And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think I covered most of the points? Do you think I missed out any? Love to hear from you. Guys, take care. This has been a long video. Ciao.